We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel for Friday, September 19th. We've got all 30 teams playing today in Major League Baseball, and we've picked our 5 best bets for the schedule. Yesterday at 2-3 day, it could be better. Let's go for that today, right? So again, all 30 teams playing, a lot of games to pick from. And folks, before you get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. All of a sudden, this is a huge day in the MLB. Well, tonight, Clayton Kershaw's final regular season start at Dodger Stadium, potentially final start ever at Dodger Stadium, obviously depending on what the Dodgers do in the postseason. Anyways, though, we know for a fact Kershaw's pitching tonight in LA. We'll see the future from there, but obviously yesterday announced Clayton Kershaw's final season pitching the MLB. So again, we've got 15 games, 5 best bets. Before we get in the video, hit that subscribe button down below for more NFL predictions in the description down below, and also our college football predictions are linked in the description down below. We will have our best bets for college football later today as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today for the MLB, kicking things off with our first money line. Let's go to Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. I'm taking the Detroit Tigers to beat the Atlanta Braves. I know the Tigers have been horrible and the Braves have been really good. That means I'm taking Detroit. Now, there is a method behind this madness. The first of which is Bryce Elder is pitching for the Atlanta Braves. Now, Elder is a very bipolar pitcher, not because he's actually bipolar, but some nights Bryce Elder looks great, and then some nights, like in his last start, he's horrible. Against the Houston Astros on September 13th, 4 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks. He'll have other nights like he did against the Cubs in back-to-back starts against Chicago in September, where he'll go 13 combined innings and just give up 2 runs. But then again, you look at a start against the Chicago White Sox in August, where he gives up 8 runs in 4 innings. So it's the definition of a mixed bag is what you're going to get out of Bryce Elder. The Braves, yes, they're on a 5-game winning streak. 4 of those are against the Washington Nationals. Now, I'm going to contradict myself in about 4 minutes here with the Nationals, but that team's not playing great baseball right now. There's a reason why we have the Nats bet later today for what it's at. I'll explain you that in a second. But the Braves sweeping the Nationals doesn't mean much to me. It just doesn't. The Nats are playing unmotivated baseball. At least that Braves series was unmotivated baseball for the Nationals, and I'll tell you why later today. There's actually motivated baseball for the Nats, but sure, Atlanta's won 5 in a row. You take 1 off of Houston after losing the first 2 games of that set, and yeah, you go to DC and sweep Washington. That doesn't move me, okay? Bryce Elder's still going. Your lineup is weird because Matt Olson's been one of the best second-half hitters in baseball. Ronald Acuna has been very off and on, but he's starting to get back to where he's supposed to be at. Steroid man Jerkson Profar is a mixed bag. Drake Baldwin's been pretty good all year long. Probably will end up being second place in the National League Rookie of the Year voting, only behind Cade Horton. And you got a guy like Ha-Sung Kim who's producing now, right? Ozuna from the Braves has been horrible. Michael Harris has regressed heavily since his monster July and monster August. And on the flip side, we get a team in the Detroit Tigers. And Charlie Morton, who once pitched, obviously, in Atlanta, is now pitching tonight for the Tigers, right? Morton pitched in Atlanta back in 2024 through the World Series year. Well, that was 23, but still, nope, 22. But anyways, signed with Baltimore in the offseason, gets moved to Detroit, and here he is. Morton has been better as a Tiger. He started off really hot with Detroit when he first got moved. He pitched the Sunday night baseball game in Philadelphia against Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies. Had a really good start in Minnesota against the Twins. So far in September, Morton has not been that good. 9.28 ERA. He's pitched 11 innings, and he's given up 12 hits and 11 runs. And walked 11 guys. Ooh. I think he'll be better today against the Braves lineup where if you can shut them down early, they're going to kind of fall off. And also, too, the Tigers need to win a baseball game. I mean, motivation has to be right there with Detroit. Guys, the Tigers, are they going to win the AL Central? Probably. You just got swept by the Guardians, who, again, Detroit single-handedly is keeping in the playoff race. The Guardians would be done by now. But Cleveland now, I guess the wild card they would still be alive for, because all of a sudden now Boston's a team that's kind of just hovering on the outside now, or they're still on the inside, but obviously, right? Cleveland's only a game and a half back in the American League wildcard race, and on the American League Central, Detroit single-handedly keeping Cleveland alive. Detroit, by getting swept by the Guards, only put Cleveland 3.5 games back. I don't know if the Guards hold a tiebreaker now before a team that was in the midst of gambling scandals. You lose your all-star closer, you lose one of your starters in Luis Ortiz. Everything's gone downhill for you this season, and yet you're still in a position where you're actually not in that bad of a spot, not just for the division, but yes, for the Boston Red Sox spot in the wild card race. Anyways, it's neither here or there. I'm just talking about it from a motivation standpoint out of Detroit. You got to win to not just preserve your division, but also there's a chance even if you win the AL Central, now you got to play in the wild card round against potentially Cleveland, who you just got swept by. I think it's a big spot for Detroit. Bryce Elder, I think, is going to continue to go down the path that he did in his last start against Houston. And I do believe that we're going to get a good enough start today out of Charlie Morton. And the Tigers bats that were pretty bad against Cleveland in this last series in Detroit, I think they finally show up, okay? They can't be this bad for this long. They are still a team that's 85-68. They still have the sixth best record in baseball. Now the Dodgers have passed them. But you're still one of the better teams in the league. Figure it out. You got to go out there and win. And they're at home. Braves team, nothing to play for. I'm going to be siding with the Tigers in this affair. Give me Detroit money line at home, -120 at Comerica Park. Next up, we move on to our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. And I know I just called the Nationals horrible, but it's my favorite team. I can call them what I want to call them. Nationals go on the road to Citi Field. The Queens or Flushing, New York, whatever you want to call it, as they will be taking on the New York Metropolitans. All right, well, Nats are now 29 games under 500, but it is what it is. They just got swept by the Atlanta Braves. They were playing decent baseball before that Atlanta sweep at home, but here they go into Queens. The Mets have now won 3 of 4 after going on their huge losing streak. They win 2 of 3 against the San Diego Padres, but I am going with the Washington Nationals today to cover 1.5 runs. We don't even need them to beat the Mets in Queens. We just need them to keep the game close. And I'll get into more of my belief of that in a second, but pitching matchup alone, Andrew Alvarez, the lefty who's been excellent so far for the Nationals, posting a 1.15 ERA so far in 3 starts since getting called up from AAA Rochester, takes on Brandon Sproat, who's been decent so far for the Mets. He just got called up in September as well. He's made 2 total career starts, 12 total innings, 2.25 ERA. So you get 2 young pitchers in Sproat and Alvarez, who just got called up. Obviously, Alvarez, never the most highly touted prospect, but there's a chance he's going to replace Mitchell Parker in the rotation next season, which, I like Andrew Alvarez. Is that enough for me to say, we don't need to sign a free agent because we have him? I don't know. But we still need one front-end starter. Don't know who that's going to be. Anyways, I feel confident enough in Andrew Alvarez, who will be facing the toughest lineup he's faced so far in his big leagues career. Yes, he pitched fairly well in Chicago. Went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. His other 2 starts, well, he went 11 innings combined against both the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins, and he didn't give up a single run against those 2 teams. So, Alvarez is pretty solid. Again, right, 3 total starts, 15 2/3 innings, 1.15 ERA for the rookie out of Anaheim, California. I mean, I'm going to take those numbers, right? That's not the sole reason I'm going Nats here, but I think he's going to be able to post a good enough number against New York, who, yes, has been beating San Diego, but we go through this all the time with the Padres, and we did yesterday, right? I took them to win. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way. Padres suck sometimes. And I was going through this dilemma a little bit yesterday when I was watching the early morning games. Okay, Blue Jays suck. You're single-handedly letting the Yankees back in the postseason race, or in the division race. And the Padres suck. But we know the Mets aren't good. Guys, I'm looking at this thing. I've been saying this for a while. There's not many that good teams in baseball. And we're going to be talking about playoff teams the rest of the way out, I think. Yeah, for the most part. So I'll continue to talk about this. I am not convinced that many teams right now in the MLB are that good. I don't know. I think it's just a distribution of talent, maybe. I'll get to that in a second. But there's an extra reason why I think the Nationals are able to not just win, maybe win, but keep the game close, right? Again, a win's an added bonus for us, right? Not just from a gambling perspective, but who wants to see the Mets win? Unless you like the Mets, who cares about those guys, right? We much rather watch the Backs, or actually, I don't rather watch the Mets in the playoffs probably than the Reds, but I'd laugh if the Reds got in. But there is an added factor that this Nationals-Mets series this means a lot to both teams, guys. Mets season on the line, obviously, but for the Nationals, this is our World Series, okay? This needs to mean something to Andrew Alvarez going on the bump tonight for his fourth career start. This means something to us right now. We have a Braves series and a White Sox series to close the year. The only thing I have to look forward to maybe is a potential Josiah Gray start in that White Sox series. We need to go into New York and sweep the Mets. Maybe. I don't know. We need to take 2 of 3 because, guys, this is bigger than just us. This is bigger than just the Washington Nationals, who, yes, just got swept by the Atlanta Braves. We need to ruin the New York Mets season. We almost did it earlier in August when we took 2 of 3 against those guys, all right? We almost did it when Riley Adams had a huge hit against Sean Manaea to push us over the top. Actually, it was Tyler Rogers, but still, all right? We did it early in August. We need to do it again this month. We need to ruin this season. If we can do anything this year, that's what I want, okay? I don't care what happens with the Reds. I don't care what happens to the D-backs. I don't care. The Giants aren't getting in. So I don't care who it is. I'd probably rather it be the answer backs because at least there'll be fun games in the playoffs. But we just need the Mets out, okay? There would be nothing funnier than watching this multi-$100 million team sit on the couch in October right next to us to watch the playoffs. Now, what's going to happen in those playoffs? I don't know. I'm still kind of under the belief the Phillies are going to win the entire thing. Not a fan of that, but I'm just watching the games. I kind of think Philly's the best team, but that's neither here or there, okay? I'd rather the Mets be sitting next to us watching the Phillies win the entire thing than, well, maybe the Phillies will eliminate the Mets. I don't know. Again, do I want the Phillies to win? No, I just unfortunately think that's how it's going to go. Anyways, the Mets, we can ruin their series right now, and I'm going to make a statement, guys. The Nationals are going to take at least 2 of 3 against the Mets. Ooh, last time I did this against a New York team wasn't really correct, but this is our time, all right? Andrew Alvarez tonight, Cade Cavalli tomorrow. Oh, Nolan McLean's pitching. I don't care. They won't get him runs. And then Mitchell Parker, Clay Holmes on Sunday. Well, Clay Holmes, mixed bag. So there's a chance, all right? No Jake Irvin this series. Hey, I got 2 things to look forward to for the rest of the season. Ruining the Mets season and Josiah Gray potentially coming back for the final game of the year. That's all I want at 2025 for the Nats right now, okay? Maybe we can avoid 100 losses. We just gotta win 1 game. We can avoid 100 losses. Anyways, I'm taking Nats plus 1.5 on the road in Queens. I just think they're able to keep it close. Alvarez has actually been on the same level, if not better, than Brandon Sproat so far, so let's make it happen. On to our third best bet of the video, we go to our Nerfy. So again, all playoff games from here on out, and this is a huge one. I didn't want to pick a money line either way because I'm kind of, I'm cursed right now, or just I have been on Brian Wu money lines, regardless if I'm picking for the Mariners or against the Mariners. I can't get a Brian Wu play right. Instead, we're just going to pick a Nerfy. This is the most obvious Nerfy on the schedule. The only one that kind of screamed at me was Cubs versus Reds and Shota Imanaga and Nick Lodolo, but I decided to go to this one instead, okay? You get the 2 best pitchers in the entire slate, just matchup-wise. You have Brian Wu and Hunter Brown. Yeah, the Astros lineup is good, right? But for Seattle, at least, well, Brian Wu's a great pitcher, don't get me wrong, right? Brian Wu, 3 ERA this season, and Hunter Brown has the 3rd best ERA out of all starters in Major League Baseball this season at 2.27. He's got a 1 whip. You tell me we're not going to find a way to get 6 outs to start this game. I'll be damned if we don't. You look at what Hunter Brown's going to need to do. Well, Seattle yesterday scores 2 runs, right? Jorge Polanco scores one or was it Polanco or was it Naylor in the 2nd inning yesterday against the Royals? It was one of those 2 guys. And then J.P. Crawford hit one down the line, and Victor Robles, who was stealing on the pitch, ends up going first to home. Those are the only 2 runs scored yesterday at Kauffman Stadium with that Mariners and Royals game. It was Polanco, who scored Naylor, in the top of the 2nd inning. There were 2 runs scored all game. Seattle, you know what they are. And yesterday, right, Julio goes 0 for, or Rosarena goes 0 for, Naylor goes 2 for 3, but Cal Raleigh, obviously, is he a home run threat? Yes. Leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs this season. He's going to make the MVP race tight. It's going to go to Aaron Judge. I'm under the belief that Kyle Schwarber's closer to Ohtani than Raleigh is to Judge, but that's neither here or there. Raleigh's looking for a home run number 57, and I get it, we're playing at Dalen Park. It's still Minute Maid Park to me, but we're playing in Houston. Obviously, the Crawford box is in left field. It's kind of easy to hit home runs out there. I get that. Raleigh's going to be batting from the left side of the plate. So I get it. Down the line, shout out Howie Kendrick, right? I mean, you can't hit home runs down the line in Houston, but it's easier to go opposite field. I think there's a much more likely chance, though, Raleigh tries to pull it against Hunter Brown, and it just makes it more difficult to hit a home run. So that's my biggest concern. Obviously, right, there's a potential with Julio or Rosarena getting a hold of a Hunter Brown pitch, and, obviously, straightaway left field. Again, the Crawford boxes, it is easier to hit home runs out there in left. I understand that. I got to put some trust, though, into a pitcher who's got the 3rd best qualified ERA out of all starters this season, behind only Paul Skeens and, is it Scooball still? Yeah, it's Scooball. We got to put trust in this guy. Last start for Hunter Brown, did give up 2 runs, but in 7 innings. Start before that against the Texas Rangers, 6 innings, 4 hits, and 0 runs. We should be okay. Again, Hunter Brown will probably see, well, he will see. It's a Rosareno, Raleigh, Julio. Okay. Get Raleigh, should be fine, I think. All these guys are power threats, don't get me wrong. That's just what the Mariners are. Strike out a million times, but if you get hold of a baseball, it's gone. So, gonna have to play our luck there. Flip side, Bryan Woo versus the Houston Astros. I believe the much more difficult matchup. Houston's at home. Bryan Woo is good. Is he better than Hunter Brown? No. Bryan Woo's ERA in the month of September is 3.7. However, he's been lights out with strikeouts. His last start against the Angels had 13 strikeouts in 6 innings. Woo is obviously an elite punch-out guy in the bigs. He will give up runs. His last 3 starts, he's given up runs against the Angels. 6 innings, 2 runs. Again, not a horrible line, but there's just potential that he's going to give up runs. Same exact line, essentially, against the Cardinals. And against Tampa on the road, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. Okay. The guys he's going to see in this Houston lineup, by the way, the Astros keep on winning, and I can get into the playoff, circumstances in a second, but this is a team that scores on Wednesday, off of Jacob deGrom, and they scored 2 in the first inning, thanks to a Yandy Diaz, 2 RBI singles, scoring both Jeremy Pena and Carlos Correa. Now, we're going to likely see Pena, Correa, Altuve, and automatic out Christian Walker in the 4th spot. Don't know why he still bats 4th, but with no Yordan, I don't think Yordan's playing today. Maybe he is, but I don't think so. Even if he is, we'll be fine. It all starts with Jeremy Pena. Keep Pena off the base pats. It makes the Correa out a lot easier. And even if you do give up a hit to Correa, okay, Pena's not on base, Because you put Jeremy Pena on base and Correa just hits a single. Well, odds on Pena's going to 3rd. And then, okay, well, Altuve can just knock him in. This Nerfy is dependent on how and if you can get Jeremy Pena out. I think Bryan Woo should be able to do that. Again, even if he does find himself in a little bit of trouble, okay, strikeouts are huge. Say there's a spot. Again, I hope it's not a thing. But let's just say Pena gets on with the single, Correa grounds out, and Altuve gets a hit. Okay, so we have 1st and 3rd. Say, they can't send Pena. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Okay, well, Christian Walker's in the 4th spot, who strikes out a lot, struggles to make contact sometimes, against an elite strikeout guy. You take my chances with Bryan Woo. And then, okay, we just get an opportunity against either a Victor Carantini or a Yandy Diaz. We just need it out then, right? So I think Woo's got great potential to keep Houston off the board in the 1st inning. And then Hunter Brown as well. I mean, again, if we can just shut down Cal Raleigh, should be fine there. In terms of the game itself, this is huge. I mean, both teams are tied right now in the American League West race, and they're very involved in the wild card race too. I mean, whoever doesn't win the division, there's a chance they could be out. Probably not, but there's a chance. So must win for both teams. Might come back to this tomorrow in terms of an actual play in the game in a Framber Valdez-George Kirby matchup, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So for now, give me the Nerfy at Dalen Park between the Astros and the Seattle Mariners. On now to our 4th best bet of the video, we go to our next money line play. We go to Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, Arizona Diamondbacks, Philadelphia Phillies. Give me the answer backs. I know I am been pretty high on Philly recently. 10 minutes ago, I said they're going to win the World Series. I still believe that because they're going to be dangerous in a playoff setting when you go 4-man rotation. And I'm under the belief Aaron Nola is going to be a lot better in the postseason. And I think Nola as a 4th starter can be really effective. Who's starting today? Arguably their 6th starter. Nah, it's Walker Buehler. Taijuan Walker is their 5th starter though. And Taijuan Walker is going to give up runs. Okay? It's as simple as that. And Ryan Nelson has been the best pitcher for Arizona this season. No, he has. Other than obviously Corbin Burns who got injured, and Gallen's been a lot better recently. Ryan Nelson's got a 3.34 ERA. Last start against the Minnesota Twins, I get it's Minnesota, but Ryan Nelson goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. He's been really effective, right? There's a reason Arizona's gone, they've slimmed down to a 4-man rotation, so you can eliminate Nabil Crisma, and you can go only your elite guys pitching every single night, because they think they can make that one last push to get into the playoffs. They are 2 games out. They don't have the tiebreaker, but they are very involved right now, all right? And if the Nationals can take care of business, which, I don't know, there's a chance Arizona gets back into the swing of things. So they've, again, condensed the rotation to just Zach Gallen, Ryan Nelson, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Brandon Pfaadt. Okay, Nelson's essentially your 2nd best guy. I would say he's been your best guy all year long, with the exception of Burns. And Gallen's been better recently, but full body of work, yes, Ryan Nelson's been your best pitcher. So this is the guy you want in the spot. Philly's good, obviously, but you got to think about this from Philadelphia's standpoint now, okay? And I was high on them in the Dodgers series, and I still think they're going to win the World Series, okay? You're now 3 games back in Milwaukee. You have 5 games up on the Dodgers plus the tiebreaker. So you really have 6 games in the Dodgers. You're not falling behind them. You're going to get, unless everything goes wrong, Philly's going to get the number 2 spot. It would take a lot for them to pass the Brewers because they're 3 games back, plus they don't have the tiebreaker. So essentially, you're 6 games up at the Dodgers, and you're 4 games behind the Brewers. You're kind of in no man's land right now. You're probably just going to get the 2. You got to come out of this unscathed. My point with all this being is Philly's playing unmotivated baseball right now. You did exactly what you needed to do in Los Angeles. You win the division, and with the Brewers continuing to win, it's not what you can do. Milwaukee's won 3 in a row now, right? And you don't have the tiebreaker either. So likely the NL goes through Milwaukee, even though they might lose in the first round in the NLCS. I don't know. There's a chance the Cubs can go in there and beat them. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's going to happen. There's a chance. Regardless, they're playing unmotivated baseball. And oh, by the way, Taijuan Walker's starting. Taijuan Walker's got a 7 ERA in the month. Gave up four runs in 5 innings against Kansas City, 4 runs in 6 innings against the Marlins, and 5 runs in 4 innings against the Brewers. Now, the Phillies bats have bailed him out, but I'm telling you, weird things happen in Arizona, and I know the Diamondbacks have screwed me royally over the last month. It's okay. I'm going to bury the hatchet tonight. Okay? They couldn't score in their last game. It's okay. Brandon Pfaadt gives them 9 shutout innings and 1 hit baseball, and they still couldn't score. It's okay. It's okay. They face a juggernaut now, a gauntlet of a challenge. Phillies, Dodgers, Padres. But here's the thing. Get the Phillies for 3, unmotivated baseball. Dodgers for 3. They might be stuck in the division crown. They might be stuck in the 3 by then. If they can take care of the Giants, which we'll see, and the Padres keep losing, there's a chance the Dodgers are stuck at 3. And then you get the Padres to the final series of the season, there's a chance they're stuck at 5. So you are potentially getting, and yeah, their schedule's tough, but think about the teams they're playing in when they're playing them. Arizona's playing 3 teams that could not care less and just want to get to the postseason and want to get to the postseason healthy. So you're going to see these guys come in who you haven't seen all year, or all the bench guys are going to get their run. You're not going to want to, Johan Duran's not going to go 3 straight games against you, right? Dodgers are going to try some things out. Oh, here comes Michael Kopech for the 8th inning, right? It's just, these teams are not going to take chances. They're not going to push their bullpen arms. They're not going to pitch their starters that deep into games either. That's why Philly's pitching a guy like Taijuan Walker tonight, part of their 6-man rotation right now, right? Well, obviously Wheeler got hurt, but they're going 6-man right now if you count Walker Buehler, right? I mean, in the playoffs, right, this is going to be a 4-man rotation with Suarez, Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, and likely Nola. It's just, this is what happens now. I think it's a great chance for the Diamondbacks to take advantage. I know the Phils are good. They're still injured. They're going to get Trey Turner back for the postseason, right? I believe Alec Boehm's going to be back as well, right? I think he's going to be back. He's back, definitely. Yeah, he's traveling with them right now. Boehm's not back tonight, but I'm assuming Alec Boehm's going to play the final week of the season getting ready for the playoffs. I don't know I think Trey might play the final series too. So I'm perfectly fine on Philly. My thing right now, though, this is going to be the least motivated they've ever been. Look how Milwaukee's playing. They can't catch up, and they are just trying to get off this road trip fine before they go back home for 6 straight games against the Miami Marlins and the Minnesota Twins, which they can get back into a groove before they hit their bye. The same thing that kind of messed them up last year. Don't forget, Phillies runs when they went to the NLCS against the Diamondbacks, when they lost the World Series, they were wild cards, and they had to go on their run. Last year, first year, they're not a wild card. What happens? The Mets come in there and beat them. They got to get accustomed to that this season. They got to pick up momentum going into the playoffs. That momentum doesn't start right now. It doesn't start in Arizona, and doesn't start with your worst pitcher as well. So I'm fine with this. I'm going Arizona Diamondbacks money line, and again, weird things happen in the desert. Give me the answer backs. Give me the snakes. On to our final best bet of the video, we move to our best player prop of the day, Shohei Ohtani. Is this not the Dodgers player you were expecting? I don't care. I'm taking Ohtani here. Okay, we did this last time. There was a big Kershaw moment. Oh, Ohtani's here too, so they're going to juice the hell out of an Ohtani baseball. It's going to be rigged, and they're going to give Ohtani a center pitch, and he's going to put one over the fence. Robbie Ray's going tonight. Oh, lefty-lefty matchup, don't care. Could not care in the slightest. Okay, so obviously the storyline of this game, and it should be, is that this is Kershaw's last start in Los Angeles in the regular season. Probably his last ever? Maybe. I don't know. Well, it depends if... I have a feeling he's getting worked out of the rotation in the playoffs, right? I think he is. Maybe not, though. Maybe he is number 4, because they're going to go Yamamoto, game 1, probably. Snell, 2. Glasnow, 3, and then what? They go Kershaw or Ohtani for 4. I think they're going to go Kershaw, with the latest thing on Ohtani being, well, we're just going to play him in the field so he can come in mid-game at the bullpen. So I actually think Kershaw is going to be their 4th starter. So maybe there might be a path. No, actually, probably not. He's probably not going to be. He won't pitch in Los Angeles. Unless they make the NLCS, which I don't think they're going to. This is going to be Kershaw's last start. Because you think about the playoff thing right now, all right? Wild card round. Okay, game 1 is going to be Yoshi. Game 2, probably Snell. Okay, so say you go to game 3, it's Glasnow. And then game 1 of the NLDS, well, now it's Kershaw, but you're on the road you're in Philly. Or if you have to pitch all, if you sweep likely Mets or Reds or Diamondbacks, if they give the Diamondbacks, they're losing. But if they sweep that team, then Kershaw gets game 2 in Philly. So unless they make the National League Championship Series, Kershaw's not pitching in LA again. So this is a big moment. They should get this game off of Apple TV so everybody can watch. I hate the Dodgers. I respect Clayton Kershaw. He's a legend of the sport and one of the best pitchers I have ever watched pitch. So I will be watching. But we're watching for Shohei Ohtani. Now we're watching for Kershaw. But Ohtani over 1.5 total bags. It's at minus 135. Oh, it's a lefty-lefty matchup with Robbie Ray. Don't care. I don't care. Just the thing with Ohtani is you don't look at matchups with Ohtani. If you can get a minus 135 for Ohtani on a good night, you should be fine. Shohei's cleared this line in 4 straight games. Excuse me. So against the Giants last night, 2 big doubles. Against the Phils on Wednesday, home run. Tuesday, home run. Monday, 1 for 3. But no, 1 for 3 with the double. So Ohtani's cashed this in every game so far this week. It's just what he does, He's an extra base monster. 51 home runs this season, second highest OPS in the league. It's just what Shohei does. And last time Robbie Ray pitched against Shohei, he did get him all 4 times. But still, all 3 times. Ohtani's seen the matchup now. And again, it's a big moment, okay? All the intentions on Kershaw, but somebody's got to hit for the Dodgers, and the MLB's got to put something on screen. They got to keep people engaged in the game somehow. So Ohtani's going to come through, okay? This is just one of those storybook moments where something good's going to happen for Shohei, because of course it does, all right? Give me Ohtani over 1.5 total bags against the San Francisco Giants. Don't care who wins. I can probably guarantee you the Dodgers will win. Freddie Freeman's going to walk off the game because Ryan Walker's going to come in the bottom of the 9th. He'll load the bases, and Freddie Freeman's going to hit a ball into right field, and it's going to score pinch runner. No, score Ben Rotvit at the plate or Chucky Robinson. Okay, like something like that's going to happen, and the Dodgers are going to win tonight. But I think Kershaw pitches all right against the Giants lineup that might just be willing to lay down tonight because they're kind of done and lost yesterday and scored 1 run for Logan Webb. Thanks, guys. And Ohtani at the same time will go over 1.5 total bags. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for September 19th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you did this great thing in the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching. I'm Mlb. Forever.